Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to be sharing a spontaneous book haul. I went to my library to pick up a couple things I had on hold, then I picked up a few things at the library, and then I stumbled on the library book sale again. And for $13.75 picked up like over a dozen books. So, and all the proceeds went to my library, so really, how can I argue with that? Anyways, let's hop into this. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amy Marie and I talk about everything mystery related on this channel. So anything from cozy mysteries, classic murder mysteries, and thrillers. The first one I saw that I had to buy, and this is the only book I've actually read. I had read it last year for my library and I loved it so much I knew I would reread it, and I just love it. And that's Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Sutanto. I talked about this in my best books of 2023. I'll link that above if you want to check out my best books. I read almost like 190 something last year, so it's definitely a pretty good list, and this was just one of my favorite cozier mysteries I read. Vera Wong is described as a woman of a certain age, and she has like an adult son, and she lives above her tea shop. She's a widow, and one day she goes downstairs and there's a body in her tea shop and she gets involved. But this is the most like heartwarming, wholesome, like found family, just coolest one, a really good mystery. Vera Wong's a very like nosy person. I love her so much, and I'm so in love with Jesse Q. Sutanto's writing style. It's glorious, it's funny, its timing is impeccable, so I highly recommend this book. I loved it so much last year that I just, when I saw it for $3, I was like, well, of course you're coming home with me. So got that. Recently I read my first Lisa Jewell. I think it was called None of This Is True, and this inspired me to pick up more Lisa Jewell because I've really enjoyed that book, and some of you recommended to me The Family Upstairs by her. And this sounds really interesting. I like the premise for this. So Libby Jones, basically she doesn't know where she's from. Like, she doesn't know her birth parents or her origin. And one day she comes home and she finds a letter. And this is the letter she's been waiting for her whole life to learn who her birth parents are. And it's like a letter, she's like turning 25, I think. And it's a letter that tells her who her birth parents are, and that she's actually the inheritor of their estate, which is like a large home. But she finds out she's not the only one after that estate. It's kind of the premise for this. I'm really excited about this, and Ruth Ware, who I really enjoy, endorses it by saying rich, dark, and intricately twisted on the front. So this sounds right up my alley. Really gorgeous cover. It's very subtle, but I love just this floral design. I think that's so pretty. This next one, I have never heard of this cozy mystery, but man, the title's hilarious. The series is called An Emergency Dessert Squad Mystery. Dial M for Moose by Laura Bradford. I've never heard of such a thing, but I'm so instantly intrigued by this. So this looks like it's the third book in the series. The first one was called Eclair in Present Danger. So this takes place in Silver Lake, Ohio. Our main character is Winnie Johnson, and she's actually the owner of the business, the Emergency Dessert business. So she does baking and stuff and catering, and she's actually doing this catering for an artist retreat, and she's very excited until she finds like the owner or leader of the retreat dead, and she gets involved in the mystery. I'm super excited. There's an adorable cat here. I love the cute little desserts. It looks like there's like little parfaits and stuff here, and like the truck here, like van for the deliveries. I'm so intrigued. And two of my favorite cozy authors, Jen McKinley and Paige Shelton on the back, endorse this with the quotes on it, so that makes me feel very, very enthusiastic. Let me know if you've heard of this mystery series. I haven't heard of it, but I'm so excited. A classic that I found in the classic mystery section that I've never heard of the author, never heard of the book. There's not even a blurb on it, but it's so beautiful. Look at this. It's got like a little engraved like monogram on it. How pretty. And it's called The Haunted Bookshop by Christopher Morley. It was in our classic mystery like library book sale section. There is no blurb on this. I'm going into this blindfolded. I think I want to keep it that way. And here's the kicker. It's illustrated. I have discovered last year I read The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, like his short stories, and I read this illustrated version, and it was the most gorgeous, beautiful thing. I love it so much. It's incredibly stunning, and it made the experience just so much more enjoyable. And look at the illustrations in this. I couldn't resist getting this because it's just so beautiful. Like just these fun little pops of illustrated sections, and just the engraved initials from the author on here is just beautiful. So yeah, I mean, for 75 cents I was like, yeah, I was like, of course I'm gonna buy this. What? like, that sounds good to me. I'll try it. I actually found quite a few hardcover cozies too, which I was really excited about, and a lot of paperback thrillers, which normally we didn't have as many of last time I checked either, so I'm so excited. A tea room one I found. This is called The Tea Room Mysteries by Susan Page Davis. This is Tea Room for Two. And this is actually book 1 in the series, so this is perfect. Beautiful, beautiful hardcover and really great repair. So we have 2 cousins in this, Elaine and Jan, and they are living in Maine. They need a new change. They need some kind of new season. So what they do is they decide to buy this beautiful home, a Queen Anne style home in Maine. And after, like, kind of taking a page after their grandmother, they convert one of the rooms in the house into like a tea room. So it's kind of their new business. They're running like tea parties and stuff like that. And one day they actually buy this like beautiful antique like teapot at some kind of, I don't know, secondhand store or like a flea market, something like that. And they buy it, but this person starts harassing them to try to get it back for some reason. And they also discover a sapphire ring in the wall of their new home. So they're trying to figure out, is this woman trying to get the teapot? Is she trying to get the ring? And there's someone who breaks in the middle of the night. So it sounds like it could be kind of a bit of a burglary type mystery. I don't know if there's an actual like murder in this, but I thought this sounded really fun, and it's so beautiful. Again, not a series I've heard of. I've heard of Laura Child's Tea Shop mystery series, of course. I'm about to read that. I'm very excited. But this one sounded really beautiful, and I could not pass up this absolutely beautiful binding. A thriller author I've read one book from, and it's called Every Vow I Break was what I read from him, and it was unhinged, but it was fun. And that is Peter Swanson, and I saw his book 8 Perfect Murders for sale at my library, and I was like, oh, really, really interesting. So the premise is 8 perfect murders, 1 diabolical killer, and everyone is a suspect. And I guess it takes inspiration from The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie, Double Indemnity by James McCain, Strangers on a Train, The Drowner, The Red House Mystery, Malice Aforethought, Death Trap, and The Secret History. So there's like all these corpses that are being left across New England, and this like murder mystery expert has to solve them because there's clues tied to all these classic mysteries. What an amazing premise. I'm so excited for this. I'm so intrigued. So this one sounds super interesting, and I can't wait. This one sounds kind of heartbreaking. It's also endorsed by Lisa Jewell, so I found that promising. Never heard of this author, but it's called Her One Mistake, a novel by Heidi Perks. It says, "What's a little lie between friends?" So this is like a domestic psychological thriller, and we're kind of following, it sounds, 2 characters, Charlotte and Harriet. They're like best friends, and they're both mothers, and one day Charlotte is watching her 3 kids and Harriet's daughter, and she takes her eyes off of Harriet's daughter for like a minute, and her kid is taken. Her daughters are okay, but her best friend's daughter, who she was supposed to be watching, is not. Now, Harriet can no longer bring herself to trust her friend Charlotte in anything she's saying. She's also in a marriage that's falling apart, so a lot of secrets, a lot of drama. I'm hoping the girl's okay, but that's kind of the premise for this, so it sounds very, very interesting. I see a lot of authors whose works I enjoy, like Megan Miranda and Lisa Jewell, are endorsing this, so that makes me feel pretty optimistic about it, but it just sounded like a very interesting premise. This is gonna fit so perfectly into a vlog I'm working on, and that is a novel murder. This is Secrets of the Castleton Manor Library by Elizabeth Penny. Beautiful, beautiful hardcover. The cat's name is Watson. Okay, not only is there actually like a bookmark in this, but there's like little paw print separators, which I found to be very, very cute. So just a beautiful presentation. Our main character in this is Faith, and she has her cat Watson, and they live in Lighthouse Bay on Cape Cod in Massachusetts, and they work in Castleton Manor, which is like a literary retreat, which is like probably set in a manor, so it sounds very fun, very extravagant. And so Faith, Watson, and the lively members of her book club all set out to unravel different whodunits that might have even stumped Sherlock Holmes. That's kind of the premise for this. I'm very excited for this. This book is stunning and absolutely just such a fun time. I think this is going to be great. Apparently it's a really upscale literary resort, so I think that adds like an extra layer of fun. Oh, I forgot, I actually found another Lisa Jewell on sale, and that is I Found You, and really, really interesting. I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep this straight, so I'm gonna summarize from the back here. Basically, there's this British seaside town, and single mom Alice Lake finds a man sitting on the beach, and he has no idea how he got here. Meanwhile, in a London suburb, newlywed Lily Monrose grows anxious when her husband fails to return from work, only to be told by the police that this man doesn't exist. like your husband doesn't exist. I would freak out. What? That's so confusing. 23 years earlier, Gray and Kirsty Rose are on their annual trip to this area, and Kirsty starts getting this unwanted attention from another man, and Gray's really uneasy. And somehow all of these are going to connect. So we have like a past timeline and then 2 like modern day timelines. So I'm really curious how all of these pieces are going to come together, but if anyone can do it, I think Lisa Jewell can. Another interesting thriller, I've never heard of this author, but it's called Her Perfect Life by Hank Philippa Ryan. And our main character in this is Lily, and she basically has the perfect life. She's got a beautiful daughter, she's like a TV reporter, she's famous, she's got the money, she's probably got the looks, you know, she's got everything. And she also has a really big secret. And she has a secret source who feeds her a lot of her information for stories that really help her like go viral and stuff like that. But one day the source starts to feed her secrets that are her own secrets, and she has no idea how the source is getting a hold of this. So she's wondering how this is all, what's happening. Is her life gonna fall apart? Why is this person targeting her? And it sounds just really interesting. And the cover really did catch my eye. I thought it was really, really beautiful. I mean, beautiful woman on the cover, of course, but just a really eye-catching, creepy kind of thriller. Then we have A Biscuit, a Casket. This is a positively organic mystery by Liz Mugarvio, and this is definitely a very like lighthearted, cozy mystery series. So this one takes place in Connecticut, and our main character, Kirsten, or Stan as she goes by, runs this like organic dog and cat treat business. She's just hoping to better the lives of cats and dogs everywhere, maybe help them live a little bit longer, just enjoy life, all those good things. And Halloween is approaching, and there's like a corn maze or field maze, and these 2 farmers, Hal and his wife Emmeline, are involved with this, but Hal's body is shortly after found dead, and he is just in the maze, and the police quickly turn their sights on his wife, but Stan knows that there is no way that his wife Emily had anything to do with this, so she gets involved in the case. I'm really curious about this. It's got this I mean, do you see this, like the costumes on the front with the dogs and cats? How cute. So I'm definitely going to put this aside and save this for some fall reading. It just looked too cute to pass up. Next we have The Fiction Writer by Jillian Cantor, and I saw this on Gabby Reed's channel, and I don't think it was a rave review from her, but she liked it, and it had a lot of tropes that intrigued me, so I wanted to pick it up. So I checked it out from my library. So the main character, there's a couple tropes I love about this. One, our main character Olivia is a writer, and it also incorporates some themes from Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which is one of my favorite classics. And Olivia is a writer who's down on her luck. She once had kind of a claim to fame, but her recent book, which was a retelling of Rebecca, is a flop. And she's pretty desperate for work. So when her agent reaches out to her asking her about this ghostwriting opportunity for this big star whose name is Henry, or like Ash, he is basically known just for, I guess, being a very good looking like actor or something like that, but he wants her to ghostwrite a book about his family's connection to Daphne du Maurier, and he hires her. So she thinks this job seems kind of too good to be true, but the more she dives into his family history and stuff, the more secrets start to come out. So I'm very excited for that. That sounds like just such a fun time. I love the tie-in with Rebecca. I love a writer protagonist, so sounds like a good one. I think the cover is very interesting. Looks kind of tropical, but I'm really excited for it. Okay, so I promise this is the last Lisa Jewell, but I'm kind of on a kick. This one's called The Night She Disappeared. It was another one some of you recommended, so I checked it out from my library, and basically we had this young couple. They're like 19 years old, and they were really excited because they just became parents, and for the first time in a while, they're going out on the town with their friends, they're going drinking. They have her mother, Kim, watching their child. Everything's good, right? Well, in the morning, Kim, the mom, realizes that her daughter and son-in-law never, or like son-in-law to be, I guess, never came home. And she is so confused. She reaches out to her daughter's friends, but they don't seem concerned. They kind of dodge her questions. Then she reaches out to Zach, who is like, you know, the boyfriend, son-in-law to be, his mom, and she doesn't seem concerned, which is really weird. But she is so like weirded out by this because the mom seems to think, the like son's mom seems to think that they just ran off because they're escaping parental responsibilities. But Kim knows that her daughter and them like loved their daughter. But Kim knows that they loved their kid too much to do that, and that she also found an engagement ring hidden and she thinks that the guy was going to propose to her daughter soon. So like, why would they run off if they were going to get engaged and stuff, right? So she starts to dig into it. Well, a year later, the case has gone cold, and a writer moves into like a cabin nearby, and one day she's wandering around and she comes across this note that says "dig here," like pointed at the ground. that's all we got, and I'm so intrigued and kind of terrified by this already. But very interesting, very excited to see what Lisa Jewell does with this, expecting a good time. So apparently this one is an international bestseller. I just picked it up from my mystery, like the mystery section in my library books. I've never heard of it, but it's called Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katarina Biblad. And the cover is what caught my attention because it's so cozy and just really, really pretty. So I'm not sure if this is like a full-on mystery, but basically our main character is Sarah and she's 28. She lives in Sweden and she's a huge bookworm, but she's never been outside of Sweden other than reading books about other places. Well, she's got a pen friend, or like pen pal person, that is in Iowa named Amy, and she's quite elderly, and she invites Sarah out to stay with her for a holiday. She's like, hey, come out here, you know, explore the world, come see stuff. Well, when Sarah arrives, Amy is dead, and this isn't quite what she expected she'd be doing on her holiday, is spending her time in this dead woman's home, unfortunately. But she also starts to meet people in the town and discover that a lot of them are broken, and she's also learning about them firsthand because she's heard about them through Amy's like letters before. So I'm not sure fully if this is a mystery or more if it's like a coming of age kind of fiction, a contemporary. I don't really know exactly, but it just sounded so cozy and the cover caught my attention, so I'm really excited to kind of give this a try. Oh, so this one I saw, it's Great Stories of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and it's like a very, very tiny little collection of different short stories. I have read some of these. Here is the table of contents in here. I've read a handful of these, but other ones are new to me, and what I like about this is it's so incredibly thin that I can keep this in my purse really easy. I mean, most cozy mysteries I can fit in my purse, the paperback ones, but this is so tiny it'll fit in my purse easy, so I figure this would be a great one for, like, you know, being in a waiting room, like just to fly through these short stories and to kind of give myself a focus with that. So I'm really excited, and the edges are also green, which I really enjoyed the color of that, so I thought this would be fun. The cozy I grabbed from my mystery section at the library was Family Patterns. This is by Kirsten Echart, and this is #1 in the Patchwork Mystery series. I really love a good, like, kind of crafty sewing cozy, even though I don't sew myself. Just find it to be very fun, like, thematically. And this is book 1 in the series. Our main character is Sarah Hart, and she's an expert, like, patchwork quilter, and she's really excited because her adult son and his wife and their twin daughters are moving back home nearby, and they're actually purchasing her grandfather's old home. So she's super excited about that. She's got a lot of good memories there, although there is some sad memories there as well because her grandfather was actually accused of murdering his wife Molly. Now, Sarah and her family know that this is not true, and it was never proven. But after the son and his family move into the house, her granddaughters, twins, discover a secret passage, and there's a quilt in it, and the quilt has clues to what happened to Molly, the wife who disappeared. Very interesting premise. The premise completely sucked me in. I also love the cover with, like, the patchwork kind of style. I think that is so fun, so I cannot wait to give this one a try. So that is the end of this book haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy mysteries in any capacity, ranging from cozy to thriller, definitely hit subscribe because I do post new content every week on my channel about those genres, and I hope you guys will have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys in my next video. Please let me know if you've read any of these books. Which one should I read first? Are you super excited to see any of these? Should I include these in a vlog? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!